Metrics and key performance indicators, often referred to as KPIs, serve as the backbone of an organization's ability to assess its security posture objectively. Their purpose is not simply to collect data, but to translate complex security activities into meaningful, measurable insights that guide decisions. Through quantifiable evidence, metrics demonstrate how effectively controls are preventing, detecting, and responding to risks. They link technical safeguards directly to business outcomes, allowing leadership to understand how security investments reduce exposure and support enterprise objectives. Ultimately, metrics transform cybersecurity from a purely operational function into a measurable contributor to organizational resilience and strategic performance. Effective security metrics share several defining characteristics. First, they must be relevant, aligned with the organization's business objectives and overall risk appetite. Second, they must be accurate, derived from reliable and verifiable data sources, such as automated monitoring tools or validated reports. Timeliness is equally crucial. Outdated metrics misrepresent current realities and lead to poor decisions. Finally, they must be actionable, meaning they point to clear next steps or adjustments. A metric that cannot inspire an action is merely a statistic. The best metrics balance these qualities, offering concise, trustworthy, and decision-oriented information to executives and auditors alike. Understanding the distinction between metrics and KPIs is foundational for any measurement program. Metrics represent general measures of activity or performance, such as the number of patches deployed or incidents detected. KPIs, on the other hand, are strategically targeted measures that reflect progress towards specific goals or risk reductions. For instance, while the number of incidents detected is a metric, the percentage reduction in critical incidents year over year is a KPI. Metrics describe the state of operations, whereas KPIs evaluate whether those operations achieve the organization's intended outcomes. Both are necessary. Metrics provide visibility, and KPIs demonstrate impact. Detective control metrics measure how quickly and effectively the organization identifies security events once they occur. Key indicators include mean time to detect, MTTD, an incident, false positive and false negative rates in intrusion monitoring systems, and the number of anomalies detected per reporting cycle. High-quality logging coverage across critical infrastructure components also contributes to detection strength. These metrics highlight how capable and mature the organization's monitoring processes are. When properly interpreted, they not only reveal the efficiency of security operations, but also provide feedback on where tuning or additional investment is needed. Corrective control metrics complete the performance picture by focusing on response and recovery. Measures such as mean time to respond, MTTR, percentage of incidents resolved within service-level agreements, and the success rate of disaster recovery tests all quantify an organization's ability to restore normal operations after disruptions. Recovery time objectives, RTOs, further validate the readiness of business continuity plans. These metrics demonstrate how resilient systems and teams are under pressure. Together, preventive, detective, and corrective metrics offer a comprehensive view of the control lifecycle, from anticipation to detection to resolution, ensuring balanced governance oversight. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, distill complex technical data into concise metrics executives can use to make informed strategic decisions. Examples include the percentage reduction in regulatory audit findings over time, showing whether compliance posture is strengthening, or the proportion of high-risk vulnerabilities remediated within defined timeframes, which reflects the efficiency of remediation efforts. KPIs may also track return on investment in security initiatives by comparing cost savings from risk reduction against operational expenses. At a broader level, executives often monitor the percentage of business units meeting defined compliance targets. These KPIs create a bridge between cybersecurity operations and enterprise performance, giving leadership a quantifiable basis for evaluating both progress and accountability. Visualization plays an essential role in communicating security metrics effectively. Heat maps reveal concentrations of risk across business units or control domains, while scorecards display how specific KPIs perform against thresholds or targets. Trend charts help stakeholders see whether performance is improving, stagnating, or declining across time. Dashboards compile this information into accessible visual formats, allowing executives to absorb critical insights at a glance. The use of color coding, summaries, and comparative graphs enhances understanding, especially for non-technical audiences. Visualization transforms static data into a living narrative that highlights progress, identifies problem areas, and encourages timely, data-driven decision-making. Benchmarking brings external perspective and credibility to internal performance measurement. Comparing security metrics to industry standards or peer organizations helps identify where controls excel and where they lag. For example, a company might find that its mean time to detect incidents is longer than the sector average, signaling the need for improved monitoring or automation. Benchmarking also allows organizations to demonstrate maturity progression over time, illustrating their advancement toward best practices. When shared with boards or regulators, benchmarking underscores transparency and validates that the organization's performance aligns with recognized norms in the industry. It is both a diagnostic and motivational tool for sustained improvement. Automation has revolutionized the way metrics are collected, validated, and reported. Governance, risk, and compliance (GRC) tools integrate directly with security systems to gather data automatically, eliminating manual entry errors and reducing reporting delays. Real-time dashboards provide continuous visibility into control performance, alerting teams to deviations as they occur. Automated workflows can even trigger alerts when thresholds are breached or compliance requirements are not met. Beyond efficiency, automation ensures scalability, supporting large enterprises with complex, distributed environments. As the volume of data grows, automation transforms metrics from static snapshots into dynamic indicators of real-time resilience. Aligning metrics with organizational risk appetite ensures that measurements truly reflect strategic intent. Metrics that exist in isolation from the business context provide limited value. By mapping technical outcomes to the board-defined risk tolerance thresholds, auditors and risk managers can communicate results in terms that resonate with executives. For example, reporting that system downtime exceeded tolerance by 12% translates technical disruption into business risk. This alignment also supports enterprise risk management programs, reinforcing governance at the highest levels. When security metrics are expressed in risk-based language, they become tools of governance rather than simply operational reports. The frequency of reporting should align with both stakeholder needs and the volatility of the risk environment. Operational metrics may be monitored daily or weekly to maintain situational awareness, while management-level reports might be reviewed monthly or quarterly to assess overall performance. Board and regulatory reporting typically occur annually or semi-annually, focusing on strategic outcomes and long-term trends. In high-risk or fast-changing environments, more frequent updates may be warranted. The key is consistency, establishing predictable reporting cycles that sustain visibility without overwhelming stakeholders. The rhythm of measurement becomes the rhythm of governance, promoting continuous engagement with security performance. Metrics programs face inherent challenges that can limit their usefulness if they are not designed with precision and governance in mind. Many organizations collect far more data than they can interpret, generating dashboards that look impressive but provide little decision-making value. Quantity without context can obscure what matters most. Another difficulty lies in translating deeply technical results into language that executives can understand and act upon. When metrics lack business alignment, they lose credibility. Inconsistent definitions across departments, differing data sources, and lack of standardized formats further fragment understanding. Effective programs counter these pitfalls by curating a smaller, high-impact set of indicators clearly tied to objectives, ensuring focus and consistency. The power of metrics is realized when they drive continuous improvement rather than serve as historical scorekeeping. By analyzing recurring trends, such as frequent policy exceptions, slow incident response, or repeated audit findings, leaders can identify systemic weaknesses that warrant deeper review. Metrics highlight not just what is happening, but why, enabling corrective actions that address underlying causes rather than symptoms. They also guide investment decisions. A rise in mean time to remediate critical vulnerabilities may justify new automation or staffing adjustments. Over time, data-driven reflection transforms metrics from passive reports into strategic instruments for organizational learning. Executive oversight gives metrics the authority to influence change. Senior leaders and boards expect data that clearly links control performance to enterprise risk posture and business goals. KPIs presented in governance meetings should translate cybersecurity health into terms such as operational continuity, brand protection, or compliance assurance. Integrating these indicators into enterprise dashboards keeps security aligned with broader performance objectives. Oversight also enforces accountability. Business units are expected to meet defined thresholds and explain deviations. This top-down engagement transforms measurement into management, embedding risk awareness within every level of the organization. Technology continues to reshape how security data is gathered, analyzed, and communicated. Advanced GRC platforms and automated monitoring tools now aggregate information from across the environment, providing near real-time visibility into control performance. Automation minimizes manual reporting errors and accelerates the feedback cycle, allowing teams to respond swiftly when performance thresholds are breached. Artificial intelligence and analytics capabilities can reveal hidden correlations or anomalies, offering predictive insight into where future weaknesses might emerge. These capabilities expand the scope of what metrics can represent, from static snapshots to living, adaptive indicators of resilience. Benchmarking strengthens the interpretive power of metrics by providing external context. Comparing internal performance to peer organizations or recognized standards helps management understand whether results indicate excellence or lag. For example, if an organization's average time to detect incidents significantly outpaces its industry, that success can be showcased in executive briefings. Conversely, identifying areas where performance trails competitors drives targeted improvement plans. Benchmarking also demonstrates credibility to regulators and investors by showing that the organization measures itself against independent, widely accepted baselines. In this way, internal metrics evolve into a dialogue with the broader industry. The frequency of reporting determines how well stakeholders remain informed without being overwhelmed. Operational metrics, such as patch compliance or system uptime, may be reviewed daily or weekly to support tactical decisions. Management reports summarizing KPI trends often occur monthly or quarterly, providing time to analyze patterns. Strategic summaries for boards or regulators typically appear annually, focusing on long-term progress and readiness. The cadence must reflect the organization's risk appetite and the pace of its threat environment. Consistent, predictable reporting cycles ensure that security performance remains part of routine governance rather than an occasional crisis discussion. Metrics achieve their greatest value when they become woven into the organization's culture of performance and accountability. When employees at every level understand how their actions influence key security indicators, measurement becomes a shared responsibility rather than an isolated compliance exercise. Security teams can use these insights to reward progress, highlight strong performers, and encourage collaboration between departments. Embedding metrics into regular staff meetings or management dashboards reinforces their relevance. Over time, this visibility transforms abstract goals, like improve security posture, into tangible, measurable behaviors that drive meaningful results across the enterprise. As organizations mature, their focus shifts from simply collecting data to interpreting patterns that shape strategic decisions. Trend analysis across multiple reporting cycles reveals whether investments in new tools or training are yielding the expected improvements. For example, a downward trend in mean time to detect incidents may indicate successful adoption of automation or improved coordination among teams. Conversely, stagnant or worsening indicators prompt leaders to reassess assumptions and reallocate resources. In this way, metrics provide the feedback loop that connects strategic intent to operational reality, ensuring that governance remains both dynamic and evidence-based. To ensure lasting impact, metrics programs must evolve alongside the organization's risk environment. As new technologies and regulations emerge, measurement frameworks must adapt to capture evolving priorities. Metrics that once focused solely on infrastructure performance now extend into areas like cloud compliance, data privacy, and third-party risk. Modern dashboards integrate business continuity, resilience, and even sustainability factors, recognizing that cybersecurity is intertwined with overall enterprise stability. This adaptability keeps measurement relevant and forward-looking, preventing stagnation and ensuring that executives always have a clear view of emerging risk landscapes. Executive oversight remains the linchpin of accountability. Boards and leadership committees must use metrics not only to review past performance, but to set direction for the future. When executives rely on quantified data to guide budgets, staffing, and policy decisions, they elevate the role of cybersecurity from operational cost to strategic enabler. Linking KPIs to governance outcomes, such as regulatory readiness or customer trust, demonstrates the tangible business value of security investments. This top-level engagement also promotes transparency, ensuring that decisions about risk tolerance and resource allocation are grounded in measurable evidence rather than intuition. The future of security measurement lies in predictive analytics and intelligent automation. Artificial intelligence and advanced analytics are beginning to anticipate control failures before they occur, using vast data sets to identify early warning signals. As these tools mature, organizations will move from reactive dashboards to real-time, risk-adjusted performance monitoring. Industry convergence around standardized KPIs will further enhance comparability and benchmarking. Moreover, as environmental, social, and governance (ESG) criteria expand, metrics will increasingly encompass resilience, ethics, and sustainability, bridging cybersecurity with broader corporate responsibility. This evolution signifies a future where measurement becomes both smarter and more holistic. In the end, metrics and KPIs for security controls are not simply mechanisms for reporting. They are instruments of accountability, improvement, and foresight. When preventive, detective, and corrective controls are measured with consistency and intelligence, they offer proof that governance is functioning in practice. Dashboards, automation, and benchmarking provide clarity and scale, while executive alignment ensures that metrics influence real decisions. As organizations refine their measurement capabilities, they transform security data into strategic power building, building resilience, transparency, and confidence across every level of the enterprise.